All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Your turn. Roll call, please.
You guys ready? Jenny David. Roger Mayhew. Charles Wiltie.
Present.
Mark Serbrook.
Here.
Mike Scott.
Here. Thank you. Okay, the agenda, everybody had a chance to look at it?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Or
All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Anybody got a conflict of interest for anything?
None.
Nope.
Sure.
Positive.
Good enough. A review of the minutes for the January 15th regular meeting.
I reviewed the minutes. Motion we accept them.
Support.
Support, discussion. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Review of the January 22nd, 26th committee as whole meetings. I looked them over. I'll make a motion to approve them.
February 19th.
January 22nd. What, do you got something different?
So we had
It's February 9th.
February 19th.
Oh, wait a minute. Hey, I'm on the wrong agenda here. I'm 1 month behind. Hold on. Where I touched the right button. Huh? Oh, senior moment. Yeah, okay. No. Wait a minute, what's going on?
Regular commissioner meeting February 12th and then committee of the whole February 19th.
26, 2/26/26, right? Regular meeting. Comes up 129.
It's the way it's set up on your iPad. I did the same thing earlier today when I was trying to look at it.
Huh? Somebody leave some keys in the men's room? I hope it's one of you men. They're yours?
Sure.
Why didn't you ask Paul to find them too? Which one am I looking for? That's it. Huh. Good deal.
You're welcome.
February 19th, 2026, committee as a whole. I'll make a motion to approve them. I did read them.
Or
Board, any discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Public comment on agenda items only. Anyone in the room would like to make a public comment on an agenda item? Anyone on Zoom would like to make a comment about an agenda item? One, twice? Okay, we'll move on. Thank you. Correspondence, we have a drug-free coalition of Ogemaw County minutes. And we have minutes from the,
Mr. Chair,
Oh.
Vice Chair, we have the audit.
Skip the audit.
oh, well, I just wanted to get the correspondence out of the way first.
Okay.
I was just kind of doing that, but that's okay. We'll call the audit. I brought my water tonight. Okay, it's Christy Schultz from Schultz, Oswald, Miller, Edwards, BCRE, FY 2025 annual audit. Would you, hey, well, you come up here and you can introduce her if you'd like. You have to. Can you do it over here by the microphone or no?
Here.
Okay, Tom, can they be heard?
No, it'd be better if they stood at the podium. Sorry.
How about slide the table over by the podium?
The microphone's mounted on the podium, so
I don't know. Blame that on our IT guy.
Okay, talk first and then Claudia can come up. So,
Okay,
great.
thank you.
So
Public likes to hear.
when I drop these papers, it's just bear with me because they're
I just figured that's something professional you do anyway.
So anyway, I'm Christy Scholze, and on behalf of our firm, I would like to thank Karen and Breck and Fabian and their respective offices and the commissioners for contracting with us to do your audit. We really enjoyed working with the county. We hope to come back next year, and we enjoyed working in the area. So I've drafted, and you're going to laugh when I say a condensed overview of this report, but I've drafted a condensed overview to kind of walk through it with you tonight, simply because the report itself is so long. But if you would like us to go in more detail at any point, just let us know. So let's start on page 1, the actual audit report itself. We're not going to flip through every single page, I promise. So you can see there, the actual audit report itself is on page 1. You can see in paragraph 2, the county has received an unqualified audit opinion, which is ideal. In our opinion, and I'm kind of just summarizing the paragraph, in our opinion, based on our audit, the financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the county as of September 30th of 2025. The letter goes on to talk about management's responsibilities and our responsibilities and supplemental information that's contained within the report too. But that paragraph is what most people care about when it comes to the audit. So we did propose some journal entries into the county's books. This year we had 48, but several of them were just cleaning up old balance sheet accounts that would have not necessarily need to have been made, but it just kind of cleaned things up going forward. I don't expect to have as many entries next year because some of them were just small, unnecessary entries. It's worth noting, though, that there are substantially fewer journal entries than there has been in the past. We noted that last year, or the year before us in 2024, there were 62, and going back to 2021, there was as many as 100 journal entries. So, and I mean, I think going forward, it's going to be even better. So I think it went quite well. The adjustments were routine in nature, none were material in amount, and they've all been reviewed and agreed upon between Karen and Fabian. And actually, I think Tim was still here the day that we talked about the journal entries with the county. That was his last day, so we went through them with him as well. And so basically, they've already been posted to the county's general ledger, and it's been kind of wrapped up for a while. It took us a little bit to wait for the road commission's report, so that's why we're just getting here now. But the next section is management's discussion and analysis, and that starts on page 4. So I'll just kind of hit the high points here. This goes from page 4 to 13, and this is a verbal narrative of the financial activity of the county for the year. So while your financial statements in the main section of the report do not present comparatives with the prior year, you can find summarized comparative information in the management discussion and analysis. The most helpful comparatives can be found on page 8 and 9. We won't go through them all now for obvious reasons, but you can see comparatives with net position statements as well as changes in net position on those pages. These summarized numbers are often much easier for people to digest than huge multi-page spreadsheets, which is what you'll see in the rest of the report. So there's also several narratives that describe the flow of information between the two types of financial statements. And we'll talk about that later again too. Readers will also find financial highlights from the year, some financial information, budgetary references, capital asset information compared to the prior year, long-term debt balances, taxable values through the years for the county, and contact information for management. So this is posted on the state's website. So basically any citizen of the county, really anybody, can pull it down and look at it. So it's important to kind of represent your county with this information. Next on page 14, you can skip through that if you want. This is the statement of net position. This type of financial report, which we refer to as the government-wide financial statements, contains long-term debt and long-lived assets. It contains summarized reports of the governmental funds, the proprietary funds, and the component units. So it's basically like a business's balance sheet. One thing I always like to point out to board members when we're talking about the statement of net position is the pension liability, because it really hasn't had to have been presented in financial statements until about 10 years ago. It just all of a sudden had to land on your financial reports then because of some law changes. It does not appear in the financials produced in-house because it's a long-term liability. So it's something that we calculate each year. And when I say we, I really mean Julia, one of our other auditors, because that's her area of expertise. So I will do my best to go through the pension information with you, although I am not a pension auditor, so just bear that in mind. She did say if you had any more detailed questions, she'd be happy to address them for you though. The pension liabilities are the county's largest long-term liability, which is common with most governmental entities. For this year, the pension liability decreased by 1.5 million and it ended the year at 6.5 million. The changes in this liability are often very market determined because of the amount of money that we're talking that's invested. Pension information can be found on page 56, although the entire pension and OPEB disclosures are in note 9 that start on page 52 and go all the way to 62. There's a lot of information in the notes on the pensions. Please note, though, when you're looking at that later on, the MERS plan, their plan year end is December 31st of 24. So we have to use the most recently available numbers from MERS. So you may see that as December 31st of 24, and that is what we had to use. That was their most recent year end. So basically, the interest expense on the MERS debt was 2.4 million, while the interest earned on the plan assets was just shy of 2 million. The county, or the contributions overall, totaled 2 million, and these factors plus a few other small costs created the decrease in the liability of 1.5 million over the year. On that same note, the OPEB liability remained basically unchanged. I think it went down by $53. So not a lot of activity there with OPEB. There aren't any other numbers on this page 14 on the statement of net position that weren't within reason or really of interest that we wouldn't be discussing later when Claudia comes up anyway. So if you want to move on to the next page. Pages 16 and 17 are the statement of activities, and they're on a landscape format. This shows the change in net position. So the expenses within this statement include depreciation expense for the county's capital assets, which totaled $384,000 for governmental activities and just shy of $180,000 for business type activities. Just for your reference, the capital asset detail can be found in the notes on page 45. And when we review the fund financials, they do not include depreciation activity. That's only in these, so that's why I'm mentioning it now. The net overall net overall increase to the government on page 17 was 3.8 million under this method of accounting. And you can see that on page 17, third column over change in net position, that's the 3.8 million, and it's broken down between government and business type. So as previously mentioned, another expense that's within these statements combined with all things noted was the pension expense, which ended up being $863,000 for the year. And something else to note on these financials, if you want to take a flip back to page 16, is the layout of this financial statement looks a little odd in the way it's designed. It's meant to show which of the county's programs pay for themselves and which rely on, whether it's state revenue or property taxes or whatever to subsidize. As you can see, the net expense column with all the negative numbers on the right-hand side of page 16, going up and down, your county's programs aren't really meant to pay for themselves, but are more designed to use state money and property taxes. So as the government reports, they must be consistent with all other governments though, so it is still laid out this way. An example of why this style would be important would be if you think of it this way, like if you had a community recreation center or a community pool or something, and say that they had charges for services for people to use it, and you could see how much it still cost out of general revenues to be able to fund that, that might be a determining factor on whether a particular governmental entity decided to keep the public pool open. Well, it cost us this much over and above what people pay to use it. So that's why it's laid out this way. But with yours being things like public safety and probate court and things like that, that's not meant to fund itself. So this format maybe isn't as useful for you as it would be for other entities. So anyway, I think I'll turn it over to Claudia to talk for a little while, and I'll see you guys in a few minutes.
Thank you.
So I'll pick up on page 18. Pages 18 through 20 are the fund financial statements. These are shown under the current financial resource management focus. Basically, the point of these is to show you what's available over the next 12 months. And it's very similar to how you're budgeting and how your in-house books are kept with the same method of accounting. Couple things to point out on this page are your ARPA funds at September 30th. There was about 99,000 left, and those are required to be dispersed by 12/31/2026. But I do believe those probably have already been accounted for with finishing up the windows and the lighting projects that you have ongoing. And then the second item is the opioid unavailable revenue of the 2.5 million. The other receivable and payables that are shown up on here, we found those to be reasonable compared to other years. We did significant amount of testing over the 60 days after year end, just to make sure what came in and what went out was to ensure that the receivables and payables were correct. And then the last section on that page is your fund balance. It's broke down to 4 categories. You have your restricted, that's gonna be your special assessments. Your committed, that always requires formal motion of the board. And assigned, which would typically be earmarked items, and then the unassigned, that's available for use at the board's discretion. Page 65, we're not gonna jump there now, but that gives you more detail of what each of those categories mean, and you can, if you're interested in that. We'll move to page 20. Page 20 is probably the most useful to the board. This is your statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. If you'll see on the far right, and this is your total governmental funds, for the year ended September 30th. You have 15.5 million in revenues, 13.4 million in expenditures, coming down to a net change in fund balance of 2.2 million. Or the change in fund balance, and then, so that came down to your ending fund balance for the year at September 30th of 5.9. But keep in mind, that's total governmental funds. So your general fund, that first column there, the general fund had 2.1 million in fund balance. That's an increase of 1.4 million when compared to prior years. So that 2.1 million fund balance, what we look at is that's 23% of your expenditures. So in other words, at September 30th, if funds cease to exist coming into the county, you'd have about 3 months for the county to continue to run the general government. We looked at some other, just to give you an idea, we compared to some other counties in northern Michigan, and then what their percentages are. Alcona was 28%, Roscommon was 15%, Gladwin 19%, Aranac 6%, and Crawford 29%. So your county is relatively close to other counties in comparison to northern lower Michigan. And I think you would all agree that concerning where the county was the last 5 years, this is a very impressive turnaround. A very high fund balance isn't necessarily ideal because that means you're holding too much funds that should be spent out on services. And of course, a very low fund balance isn't ideal either because you have no cushion for emergencies. And then page 21 and actually 19 as well. Those are just reconciliation pages. That's where we reconcile one required method to another. So basically, it's a bridge between the statements I just talked about and a bridge to what the statements Christy talked about a few minutes ago. Then page 22. Pages 22 through 25 reports on the financial activities of your proprietary funds. So this is going to be your tax funds, your public transit is also included in here. And if you jump to page 24, that gives you a total of the net change in net position. It increased to overall 889,000 with an increase of 85,000 in public transit. We'll move ahead a couple pages to 26. Pages 26 and 27 are the fiduciary accounts. So this means that the county is a trustee for funds held for others. Examples of this would be payroll taxes or benefit deductions. We do have a recommendation regarding the fiduciary accounts that maybe someone in one of the offices are able to spend a little time researching some of the balance that have carried over from numerous years. We'd already discussed this with Karen and Breck, and we understand that there was some staffing changes, turnover throughout the year. So that kind of got put on the back burner, but I'm confident that these accounts will have traceable balances next year. So we'll be able to take a look at those. Then moving to 28. Pages 28 and 29 are your component units. This is the Road Commission, Drains, EDC, and Land Bank. And the Road Commission is audited by other auditors, so we just rely on their information to drop down on the report here. Then we'll look at page 30, or we'll go to page 30. So pages 30 through 66 are a bulk of this report, and this is your notes to the financial statements. They're all required disclosure, and they do provide a lot of drill down detail if you're interested. I'm not gonna go through these pages tonight, because Craig wants to get home, I think. There's a couple pages I'll draw your attention to. Page 31 and 32, that references the health department and the airport. As of the production of this report, the updated numbers weren't available yet to us, so we will hold off uploading this to the state for a little bit to see if those numbers become available. But we can also, if there's a delay in that, we're not gonna delay uploading your report. We're just able to accept the list as the most recent available
Which
information.
one are you waiting on?
The health department and the airport,
The airport's audit is already completed.
the airport one.
Highlighted.
It may not have been uploaded to the
Yeah,
state. We have to look at the state's
Yeah.
website to see what's available. So if you know who can send it to us, we'll happily update the report, but we just have to, we go to the state website and see if it's been updated. or
Okay, well, just, 2 weeks ago, they presented it to us, so.
Oh, so yeah.
Yeah, it's brand new.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
we'll make a note to.
Disclosure in our statements here, there's a update report in the health department, so it doesn't affect your statements other than disclosure. So if we can grab that information, we'll happily update it in here before we
It'd be nice to have it complete.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Mark, what's this firm? You remember?
I don't, off the top of my head.
Alpina? Or, you guys probably know them. No,
Trying to think of, it's district health department number 2.
No, he's talking about the airport, the auditors for the airport.
Oh,
Oh, and then we get the audit at the health department too?
That was coming yet. We'll
Oh,
probably get that next month.
okay, that's Stevenson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, health department Stevenson,
Um,
airport is,
airport, yeah,
trying to
can't
think.
think of the guy's name now. Younger fella. Could be, I don't know.
Health department's not done yet.
No,
We will, if it's available prior to this thing to be uploaded, we'll certainly grab it. Otherwise, we'll just reference the prior year number.
Okay. All right,
Didn't
go
wanna
ahead,
hold on
I'm
to
sorry.
Nope, that's fine.
Yep.
And then on page 43,
42.
the second paragraph on 43 discusses the amount of the county's deposits in financial institutions that are exposed to credit risk, which is the risk of loss in the event of bank failure. While the risk is low, we thought it prudent to point this out because of the dollar amount to be determined subject to credit risk is 12.5. But the county treasurer, she's on top of this and she reviews the financial institution credit ratings quarterly, and I believe she provides you all with a report. So she's keeping up on that. And Fabian did make a good point too, that as the county's financial position improves, it's going to be more difficult to find available banks to insure the money that are local. Then we'll move to page 67. Pages 67 through 70 is a supplemental information, and this is all related to the pension calculations. And again, if you have questions, Christy or myself can try to answer it, but we usually get with Julia on those questions. And then moving ahead to page 70. Pages 71 through 75 are the budget compared to the actual of the county, and you can see you did an excellent job in budgeting. The overall expenditures were budgeted favorably. And then we'll move to page 76. Pages 76 through 97 contain a lot of detailed information. And I'm just going to kind of go over quickly what is in each of those pages. 76 and 79 are your combining statements of the non-major governmental funds. Pages 80 and 82 are your non-major proprietary funds, and pages 83 through 92 are additional detail on your component units, like the transit authority, that's 93 through 97. All of this information is summarized up in the the columns up ahead that we had already examined and looked over. This is just more detail. Once you've had an opportunity to look over those, if you have any questions, you can feel free to get with us. Now I'm going to give it back to Christie.
You get me back for the wrap up here.
Okay, thank you.
So the next you'll find in the back of the report where it looks like it's another report starting over again. That's the single audit portion, the audit of the federal funds. So note here now that starting with this audit, this is the first audit, that the threshold for needing a single audit is now spending more than $1 million in a given year of federal funds. Now, the county definitely needed a single audit this year because the ARPA money that was spent was federal funds. But going forward, there's a solid chance that you could go back and forth as to whether you need a single audit or not. So with that being said, if you don't need a single audit in the coming years, and where your auditors, of course, will adjust the audit price accordingly. So I just wanted to be transparent about that, because when we bid it, the county was under the assumption that you would always need single audits. So we'll get into a little bit more on that in a minute. The CFA, which is the Schedule of Expenditures of Federal Awards, can be found on these back pages 8 and 9. And this year we chose to test the transit federal funds and the ARPA federal funds. This gave us plenty of coverage as we tested 69% of the total federal funds that you received, just because those two had very large amounts. We found no instances of question cost and issued a clean opinion on your federal fund expenditures. So if you want to just take a look at the letters at the back now. The one titled Communication with Those Charged with Governance at the conclusion of the audit. So you may recall when we started auditing, we sent you our planning communication and it says, this is what we're going to do and this is when we're going to do it. So then now we send you another letter at the conclusion saying, well, this is what we did and this is how it went. So with that being said, if we had any major problems like disagreements with management or any other sort of issues that made us unable to complete our audit, this is where we would communicate that to you. Fortunately, no such issues existed. We do have a few suggestions that we wanted to share though. So if you want to look on page 2 of the communication with governance under audit findings or issues, a couple of little suggestions we would make for going forward. During the course of our audit, we found the county did not have an individual with the knowledge of grant activity of the county. Each department head had varying degrees of information pertaining to their particular department. However, we feel that a municipality the size of your county should have an individual with knowledge of all grants applied for, received, and denied for the county, not only for control purposes, but also for reporting and compliance. So for example, a grant administrator, and it doesn't need to be a new position, but if you had an individual that could just say, I'll take ownership of grants and I'll, so whether the sheriff's department is applying for a grant for marine safety, or if it's housing authority is getting their annual grants, whatever it may happen to be, somebody just has an umbrella over that and kind of knows what's going on with all grants. I was running around a little bit like a chicken with my head cut off on the first day of the audit, trying to track down everybody that knew anything about federal funds. So especially in the coming years, probably even more so important than now, when it could go back and forth as to whether you need a single audit, that's something we would really like to know prior to arriving, because there's a lot of planning that goes into single audits. So if we can kind of get a handle on that before we get here, then I'll be prepared for it versus the years that you may not need it. So that would be a suggestion. It's also just think about it in the sense, if somebody says, oh, hey, yeah, we applied for that grant and we got denied, if nobody's even aware it was applied for, there's no really way in the future to prevent being denied again. So that would be a suggestion we had. Again, it's not an audit write-up per se, it's just something that we think would be beneficial. And the next item, I'm fairly certain has already been dealt with, but because it was in existence at the time we were here auditing, we need to bring it up. And it has to do with the procedures relating to the collection of deposits and donations at the nature park. So I believe that situation had went down just prior to our audit, but I'll read to you what we wrote up anyway, just simply because during the course of the audit, it wasn't, or not during the course of the audit, but during the course of the year we were auditing, it was an issue. So our review of the county's procedures relating to the collection of deposits and donations received by the nature park indicated that there is a continued lack of control in the receiving and depositing of cash receipts. We recommend first that management implement procedures where the key to the lockbox at the nature park is kept at the county treasurer's office periodically, at least on a biweekly basis. The Nature Park employees would then bring the lockbox to be opened with an employee at the treasurer's office. The funds would then be counted together with both individuals documenting the dollars received on a cash count sheet with their initials and signature. The sheet then would be used by the treasurer's office to reconcile and support the deposits being made. So again, I say this knowing that it's already been rectified, but so with that said,
You know, it's always better to have the
oh, for sure.
recommendations done before you even say them.
Yeah. So, let me see here. Lastly, there's the report on internal controls. And we did follow up with each department to see if the recommendations from Maynard had been implemented. It seemed as though each department took ownership and complied with our request for information. In closing, it's been our honor to work with the county, and please do not hesitate to reach out to us if we can assist in any way during the year, because it's always easier to talk about an issue when it's happening as opposed to after the fact. The hardest year we always feel as a new auditor is the first year. So, and I feel it went very well. I hope the county feels the same, and we look forward to working with you next year. I'll let you go home now, Craig.
Oh, we got a lot more meetings, though. You're just a small part of the meeting.
I know. Is there any questions I can address while I'm still here? But I mean, do feel free. I'll leave a card if anybody.
Well, I was glad to hear that you had most of it wrapped up, even almost by the end of the calendar year.
Yeah, it was just writing this beast of a report after the end of the calendar year,
And I
waiting
think
for the road.
the
commission.
last 30 days, we're just waiting on the road commission
Yeah.
more than anything.
Correct, yeah.
That's unbelievable, because I can remember years that we went right to the end of March or even April.
That would give me anxiety. I don't want to do that.
Well, it gave me anxiety, I can tell you that, because we didn't know where our position was. Now we know our position anytime we
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, and we like to, and I hope that this was helpful to Karen, but we like to, each day we're here, do a little synopsis. This is where we stand. This is what we still need. These are our open issues. Then we leave and write an email, and these are our open issues. This is what we still need. But there wasn't a whole lot open when we left. I mean, yeah, I went on vacation a little bit when we left the field, but Claudia took over, and it seemed like everything was, yeah, a few things, but yeah.
What you say there was 48?
48, but I mean, in fairness,
Oh,
a lot of those weren't,
no.
yeah, they weren't necessarily required as far as auditors went. But if you leave a balance sheet item hanging out there, it's gonna stay there forever. So we're like, hey, we're gonna get rid of this $43 sitting here for, and kind of just make it, not be a carry forward issue. So there was a lot of those too. So I would say all in all, we've had more journal entries than that on small townships. So considering the size of your county, that was nothing. So,
Thank you.
I have a question.
sure.
Yeah, I also mirror Commissioner Scott's statement on the promptness.
Oh,
And
thank you.
everybody we've talked to, especially with our treasurer and clerks, and everybody said that, you guys have been really good to work with.
They were a joy as well.
So we definitely appreciate that. And it is nice that you guys are local, but
Mhm.
at the end of the day, of course, we're gonna use companies that we feel we're getting the best from, and we
course.
appreciate what you guys have done to this point. So pretty much a lot of this, there's so much information.
There is.
And at the end of the day, when we go to our townships, the constituents, what they've been hearing from years is, where we were just 3 years ago with a fund balance, which pretty much was non-existent,
Mhm.
to where we're at now. So when we go to our constituents, this number on page 20, that's the number that we can use, the 2 million.
Look more at the general fund. That's all governmental funds, and a lot of this is restricted money. So if
Okay.
you're looking at unrestricted money, I would go over here.
Right here.
2.1,
The
correct?
Two,
Yeah,
two,
one
one.
Just in the general fund here. And that's the number that was the 23.1% that Claudia was talking about, 23.1% of fund balance,
Is it 21 point?
23.1, sorry.
23.
3.1.
So, and the way we like to look at that is, like Claudia had said, that's about 3 months of county spending. So it's, and it's pretty fair, like when we look at school districts particularly, they have to have a 10%. That's like the state mandated, or we're gonna come in and kind of help you out a little bit. So 23% is pretty common for counties in your area. I mean, there's a few, like I think Sheboygan County has a ridiculously high fund balance, but there's so much lakefront property there. So, it's not really comparable to a county that's more inland. So, I mean, it's very similar to other counties we work on and other counties in your geographical area, which is not to say that you still shouldn't continue to build it up a little bit, because,
Right, we still got a long ways to go.
conservative times, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you.
You guys got any questions? Roger? No? Good. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
On my bag, so don't hesitate to email with questions or whatever if we can help further.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you very much. Well, I'll get back to correspondence here. Drug-Free Coalition on Ogemaw County minutes of that meeting, and then the minutes of the Ogemaw County Human Services Coordinating Council minutes. Number 7 is the consent agenda. Is there anything there? Consent?
I would make a motion that we consent to all of it, actually, or if, so I would make the motion to Resolution 7A, which is resolution to accept the fiscal year 25 audit report, resolution to approve the purchase of 5 ballistic vests and outer carriers, resolution to approve text amendment number 04-25, resolution to approve opioid remediation service agreement with Catholic Human Services, the resolution to approve opioid remediation service agreement with District Health Department number 2 for Narcan stocking, resolution to approve the opioid remediation service agreement with the District Health number 2 for a program called Sea Hope, and a resolution to approve compensation for time spent in depositions by retired and or laid off employees of the sheriff's office.
I just have one question.
Well, let's get a support.
Roger supported.
Oh, Roger did?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I think we can group all these two. I just know that, you and I both have been questioning regarding the commissary funds. And we were looking into some information on that, and the ballistic vests are coming out of that, correct?
Correct.
Is there anything that?
I don't have a problem with that part.
It's for the correction staff, so I mean, it's a very legitimate.
No, I don't have a problem. I just have a few questions, but that can be after the fact. So no, I'm fine with.
You're good? Any other discussion on the consent agenda? Fabian, do you want to say something?
No,
Look like it. Oh,
no.
okay, roll call vote, please.
Okay. Roger Mayhew,
Yeah.
Charles Wiltie,
Yes.
Mark Serbrook,
Yes.
Craig Scott.
Yes. All right, we get that out of the way. New business, we got claims, Mr. Serbrook, you were right there. I think I'll let you.
No, I'd make a motion that we pay claims in the amount of, what is our claims amount? $150,412.58.
Since I was along with you, I'll support that.
All right, and I will just,
Wanna
you want me to hit the highlights? Childcare, we had to pay the state of Michigan our normal disbursement of 32,000. Housing, they had contract services for 4,132.28. Really wasn't bad. Indigent Council was 24,742.50. Parks and Rec, we had a bill for 34,825, which is for materials for the electrical upgrade to the RV park. Road Patrol, there was equipment installations in the Tahoes. And the treasurer's office had 416 parcels that they had done with title check. So other than that, it really wasn't all that bad.
Any other discussion or
I don't
questions?
think there was anything else that jumped out.
I don't have any.
Okay. Could I have another roll call vote, please?
Charles Wiltie,
Yes.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Roger Mayhew.
All right. Wait, anybody got unfinished business? Nothing, Fabian?
No,
You
no.
just look like you want to say something.
His turn's coming.
Yeah, I know it. That's, we're getting there. All right, well, number 10, Administrator Controller Report. No, go ahead. If you don't have anything,
All right.
say it anyway.
Just want to let you know, we did get the release of the propane B, request for bids. We've already gotten one bid back on that. Been working with the undersheriff on a budget amendment for the building security officer that we talked about last week at the committee as a whole. Doing some documentation on our FOIA's requests under state law. We have to catalog those, and so I've been getting caught up on those, and then we had some additional ones come in this week, and then the rest of my time was spent on a review of the audit report before it was finalized for the board. So unless,
Finding things to use that extra 5 hours for then.
no, I haven't, that doesn't kick in till next week, so.
Oh,
Yeah.
you have to find some things, okay. Anybody got some questions for Fabian?
Not right now.
No? Roger, questions, comments?
Nope.
Okay, well, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
The elected officials and department head reports, treasurer, would you like to speak to with the audit and everything? You don't have anything to say?
Just very pleased at how well everything has gone. And again, with it being a new audit team, everything went very smoothly.
Right.
Very pleased to see where our fund balance is and how far we've come in 5 years. And I hope we keep the train on the tracks going forward.
Well, for you people that didn't hear her say anything, it was all good. Under sheriff,
Nothing, sir.
come on up here and say something.
Oh, what do you want me to say?
Just tell us about the 24/7. I've been letting my townships know.
Sunday that you don't even the Sunday to the townships. Hey, that's how it goes.
We got a lot of people on Zoom tonight, like to hear it.
No, we're fully staffed now. We're up and running. All our shifts are covered, 2 people. So we're getting the full amount of coverage that we can with the allocation that we have, so. They're out there doing the job. We're flexing with the schedule and making things work currently, and so no major issues. We've got a few major investigations that they're currently working on. One new Tahoe is on the road. We got that fully functional. It's out and about now, so the second one will be coming any day now.
I was gonna ask that because
Yep.
we had all that equipment in claims, so I just wondered if they were both on the road yet. So
Yeah, the
one
second-
is and one's close.
Yep, the second one is the K-9 unit, so
Okay.
they're having some issues. They had to round out some parts. So once we got that sorted out, and Lieutenant Nossinger had to make a couple trips down to Mount Pleasant to give him some parts that we've been taking out of the previous K-9 unit. And he's done a great job in working with Procom. Procom's been very positive with us during this go-around, and just looking for different things that we can interchange. There's not a lot because of the different model years, but he's done real well at, looking at those invoices. And
I saw that they were able to take and retrofit some stuff, not a whole lot, but there was some stuff that came out of the other ones that were compatible with the new ones.
yeah, I have to give him props. I mean, he's really worked hard. He's gone over the invoices with a fine tooth comb. He's works well with the rep there at Procom, and he's really taken that on. So,
Good. Anybody got a question? Roger?
I don't know this to be a fact, so I wanted to ask you, the chief of police in Rose City,
mhm,
is he deputized by the county?
correct.
What I thought, so if we actually hired somebody here to be like a chief bailiff or something, and they had all of the education, the schooling, certification, could they be deputized by the sheriff?
That would be something you'd have to look through because of the MCOs, the deputy contract and that type of thing. That's a separate entity. They are deputized. Our bailiffs are deputized. But he's an MCOs officer that's employed by the municipality in Rose City. So an MCOs certified officer that's employed by the county, I would think would fall under the umbrella of the deputy contract for Ogemaw County. So I think what you're getting at is we hire an MCOs certified person and deputize them and just put them into the building. I think that still counts as a as a
Okay,
county
like,
deputy.
I know ours ain't union over there,
Who?
chief of police, Rose City.
Well, no, because he's the
Right,
appointed chief, so
right, but he's
they're
still deputized.
correct. They're all deputized. I mean, the city of West Branch are deputized. And what that does is allow them to operate outside of their primary municipality. So we have something up in Rose City that needs a backup or a crash, he can go and police that until MSP or the county gets there. So same with West Branch Township. But they're not employees, they're not Ogemaw County. So I don't know that that's gonna translate, that idea, but
You know what I'm asking?
no, I do. Yep.
Anything, Charlie? Okay. Hey, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Contrary to public belief, we like to hear your reports. Really?
Thanks, Paul.
Is there anybody, any Breck, are you listening? Or do you want to say something on Zoom? Or is she just on and you're not listening?
Yeah.
She's driving. Well, she's listening to us. I can't imagine she doesn't talk when she drives. I mean, can't imagine. Danielle, is there anything you'd like to tell us about the courts? Didn't have your name up there if you don't want to get called.
And if Tom will unmute her, she will have something for you. But Tom needs to unmute her.
She's capable of talking, I believe.
Oh, can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you.
All right. So I do have two things I wanted to share with you guys. Any any township official that was appointed after the November 24 election. So I know we have a new treasurer in one of the townships. There's a couple new clerks. Anybody that's been appointed since that election, they have to run on the August ballot this year. So when you guys are out at your townships, if you want to let everybody know, and I've sent emails to all the clerks, and I had Eileen Fournier give that update at the MTA this past Tuesday.
And she did do that.
Yeah, so anybody that has been appointed needs to run for the remainder of the term. And I actually have in my vehicle with me, the petitions for that. So they can come in to my office after tomorrow and pick up the paperwork for that. And then the other thing, when Phil Durst was there and gave his report a couple weeks ago, he had presented that training that he had done, and we set up a training for all of the elected officials in the county, township wise, county level, you commissioners. We're going to call it a leadership training. That is the fourth Monday in April, I believe. I don't have that off the top of my head right now, but I'm going to send out an email and I'll include you guys on it too, so that you have that information to share. But yeah, so that's what I got.
27th, fourth Monday.
Yes, 27th. And that will be the afternoon. So it'll be during the day, 1 to 4:30, I believe is what we said.
Okay.
And I'll see you in 7 minutes.
We're counting.
Rex, say, is she gonna send us, are we gonna get an email on that, the training?
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
gonna email
yep.
you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
She just had to think about it while she was driving.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, the court, sir, Danielle, yeah. Would you like to give us a report on anything? Just in the other room, I guess. All right. Well, no other department heads. Though we did receive a register of deeds January 26th report. Matters from the floor? Anything? Gentlemen? Motions for adoption? Okay, commissioner reports. So far I have minutes from the Veterans Memorial Park Subcommittee and the Housing Advisory Committee minutes and the Transit Advisory Committee minutes. So Charlie, Commissioner Wiltie, your name is on most of them, so you might as well start out.
Hang tight, everybody. It's gonna be a long one. Last week we had our transit meeting. Commissioner Serbrook serves on that with me. We are a little shorthanded right now. We're doing some hiring at the transit. Also in discussions of possible another position out there to help with dispatch and supervision. Right now, we do have concerns that if our current director had any type of issues where he'd be down for a while, we really need to have another person out there that can take over the reins. Then, of course, the biggest conversation we had out there was regarding the millage and how we're going to move forward with the millage. There's been some talks, the last couple of weeks we brought to the board about the possibility of, looking into starting an authority with our public transit. And we realize right now the best thing to do is just to put that to the side. We really need to focus on the millage. And then, of course, if we're not able to get the millage to pass, because we definitely understand that our constituents are taxed out, but our public transit is very important. Now it is a very small, minute group of our residents that use it, but the people that do use it vitally need this service, so it is very important. Right now, we know that if the millage wouldn't pass, for us to operate, we'd probably be looking at least a 50% reduction in what we're offering right now, so that would be huge. So we definitely know, right now we're getting close to where we think the millage rate would need to be at. And then, of course, we need to have a solid message to our, residents of why it's important and what it would take to get there. So lot of things going on there at the transit. EDC, we had a board meeting this past week. Our vice president, Rich Castle, sadly, took a different job with Consumers Energy. Rich, really smart, intelligent guy, did a lot of great things with the EDC. So it was sad to see him go, but we got a lot of great members there. The EDC is doing a lot of awesome things. I mean, you guys hear the reports. We had the director and Penny Paya and the president, Phil, was in a couple weeks ago. One thing I want to share, which is pretty cool. One thing we definitely know in the county is that we have a very large shortage of childcare. It's a problem everywhere, definitely a problem here in Ogemaw County. One thing we're trying to do right now is the EDC has that revolving loan account. Right now we have right around $30,000 to loan, and we're doing a marketing campaign. We're trying to push for some childcare, smaller childcare companies here, in the county. Right now, I think Prime is right around, I think it's like 9%. We'd be willing to reduce Prime by 2% for this loan, because we really want to try to help some people that, possibly have the credentials to start this, but they're just kind of short maybe on that cash to get it started. So anybody out there, anybody knows some people that would maybe be interested in this, please have them contact the EDC. It's a great time right now to get that low interest loan for the current state of the economy. Vance, me and Commissioner Serbrook had a board of directors meeting this past Monday. We're heading in a lot better direction than we were 6 months ago, with everything at the state staying, basically where it is at, not getting privatized for right now. But that fight's going to continue, so we're going to have to continue to fight that. I'm sure Commissioner Serbrook will mention on that as well. Housing, had a Ogemaw County housing meeting last week. Great group of people there. You guys, got a report recently on that. A lot of good things going on there. I'm not sure if you guys got the report that one of our county residents that did get a large amount of money from the state for housing. She just bought a lot in the city and is gonna build a house there. And that's the stuff that we wanna do. That's what we're trying to build this and trying to help market to, you know, people like her, to builders, to investors. So it's great to see that. It's a good win for us, and we'll just keep marching forward. Tomorrow, I'm pretty excited about this, meeting with, Steve Yufich, our, Mills Township Blight, director, leader. And we are starting our first meeting for the Mills Township Blight Advisory Committee. This is something that I've been brainstorming with Steve. I've been thinking about this for years. We're super excited to get that off the ground. It's gonna kind of be a state-of-the-art type thing. I think that maybe could lead into a lot of other townships following us down the road. So that'll start tomorrow, and really looking forward to that. EMS, we had a meeting last week, of course, as I always say. Our undersheriff's the chair of the EMS, a lot of good things going out there. Currently, we did have a review process for our leadership positions there. We just still need to get our secretary done, and then we'll be able to review those. That's important, because then we can see how our team members feel about our new leadership out there. It's really good that we know they have a voice and see how they feel things are going. And we did get that new Ford pickup. It's finally in. That's a pickup that we bought with the equipment millage. It will be great to see that on the road. They got to get a few more lights on it. It is stickered up. That's going to kind of be like a fast response / second assistance vehicle. So you'll see that it's a white Ford crew cab. You know, has EMS stickers and everything on it. So thank you for all our residents for passing that millage. That vehicle will definitely help assist and help save lives. MSU Extension, just want to touch base quick, this coming Monday at Bucks at 5:30, the MSU, Friends of MSU. It's a group of people that are working hard, trying to start the campaign for the millage. You know, we have a very small millage that operates that. MSU Extension in this county is a huge asset to not only our residents, but our children. So if anybody want to get interested on that, you can contact MSU Extension with any questions. But this coming Monday at Bucks at 5:30, we're having a meeting over there. Again, MSU Extension does a lot of great things for our residents and the children here in the county. I just want to make one comment regarding the AEDs in the building. Mike Bowers did get all the batteries in. I know that's something we've been talking about, so it's good to see that all the AEDs in the building have the new batteries and are running properly. Mike acted fast on that and got that done, so that was good to see. I did see an email today, again, from the courts. Leanne Ross did find a Narcan that is expired. So I think that's another thing that's telling us that we've been talking about. We need to have a person that's accountable for these types of items within the building, fire extinguishers, Narcans, AEDs, and that these are up to date, working properly. And I know we are working on that, but that is something we got to get done. And I just want to finish up by saying, you know, it's great to see the audit today. You know, we had to make a lot of hard decisions over the last number of years. Financially, it feels good to see the county heading in a direction of sustainability, where we're able to make some more positive moves. You know, we're able to, you know, give raises to our hardworking county residents. Hopefully we'll be able to offset some of these millages down the road, and, you know, we have to spend our money wisely. It is good to see that we have 23% fund balance, but I still think we need to be really smart with what we're doing. And we just got to stay united and keep working hard. That ends my report.
Okay, Roger, you got anything?
Yeah, went to Goodhour. They got a grant for fiber attack on their stuff over there, and it's gonna be at the Rose City Library, I believe. Secretary of State's gonna be at Rose City in April. Not which day for sure, but one of them. The Prescott Library is supposed to be getting rebuilt. They had a deal on that, and it's supposed to be getting rebuilt.
The Secretary, the
No,
lady
the
Secretary of
Prescott
State?
Library.
Huh?
The Prescott Library.
No, I meant you back before that. You said the Secretary of State?
State, they got a mobile deal. They drive it.
Oh,
City.
oh, I
Be
see,
there in
I
April.
see. I thought she was coming. Oh,
And, in Clacton Township, the big deal is at the hall, they're talking about reflooring it,
Oh,
the floors. They're talking about vinyl over tile because they don't have to do nothing to it but wash it.
oh, okay.
So that's what I got.
Commissioner Serbrook?
Personnel met. Commissioner David and myself met with several of the at-will employees to go over draft number 6 of the at-will employee manual. We spent about better part of 2 hours. I think it went just a little over 2 hours. Judge Williams was there, as well as several at-will employees, discussed issues. We had, Tom had sent some notes, and as well as Tracy Turner had sent some notes, so we went over their concern. We'll be seeing a draft 7. Fabian, you wanna
Draft
jump in? Fabian was there with us, so,
Draft 7 will go out tomorrow.
okay. We're making headway on it, but,
Okay,
so, Commissioner Wiltse and I, we had the Vets Memorial was last week. LaDonna Schultz, the prosecutor, who is basically steering the committee, came out with a revised timeline. Personally, I think it's a pretty aggressive timeline, but it's less aggressive than she originally had. She believes that if things work out right, that we can have that finished by October of 27. We divided up into subcommittees. Prosecutor, Commissioner Wilson and myself are on the grant side of it. I don't remember, somebody else was working on the fundraising. I don't remember exactly who it was that got appointed to those, but we've broken up into subcommittees to look at the various fundraising aspects of it, whether it's a grant. We're talking about selling bricks, things like that, so. And then we had another revised layout of the building, or not the building, but the park itself, so. We're continuing to look at that. Commissioner Wiltie touched on transit. We were on that. Well, Vance as well. With this PIHP bid out, the state's basically pulled back on it. They may change the number of PIHPs. Right now, there's 10 PIHPs, and they wanted to reduce it to 3. So that may still happen, but we're just kind of in a wait and see mode right now. Did claims. Commissioner Scott and I attended MTA the other night. As well as District Health number 2 on the District Health side. We should be getting the audit report from District Health. I believe it's gonna be next month. And I'm gonna touch on this whole nature park thing in hopes that we can kind of put this thing to bed. We're getting hammered on Facebook with a lot of inaccurate information. And it got brought up here tonight during the audit report. One of the biggest reasons that the previous caretaker was dismissed from that position was his blatant refusal to follow the monetary policies that this county had set up for the collection of monies, and that was addressed in our audit report tonight. The second thing was he physically threatened bodily harm to a county employee. Therefore, he was dismissed. The other issue that is kind of blowing up on the Facebook thing too is the fact that there's been some accusations that there was collusion, that the new caretakers are somehow related or it was a done deal. I will tell you, the 4 people that were involved in those interviews was Commissioner Scott, myself, Scott Bell, Robert Griffin Jr. The 4 of us interviewed 4 applicants. Some of them were husband and wife teams. There was one that was not. We knew none of those applicants, had no knowledge of them whatsoever. And then there was an issue with the condition of the deer. The picture that's posted on there is a picture from, I don't know when, it's summertime. You can see the ribs on one of the deer. We had the veterinarian out there December 30th. Commissioner Scott and I were there. We spent about 2.5 hours there with the veterinarian. The veterinarian has assured us that those deer are in excellent shape. So I just want to do my best to put this whole thing to bed. So that concludes my report, sir.
Okay.
And I'm sure you may have more to add on the park issue. But that's-
Well, you did really good with that. Other than what you reported on, I attended my Ogemaw Township meeting, last night. It was interesting. A lot of different things we're talking about. That, of course, is the township I live in also, so I go as two different people. Uh, yeah, the nature park, that little extreme. I've been talking to the newspaper and answering a lot of questions that she had. And I think that, I'm thinking we're gonna see something favorable come out. I'm hoping that she's gonna come out later this year when spring breaks and take a look at all the additions that we've made in the last few years. There's a lot of new stuff out there we've done in the last, well, I've been here 10 years and it was Karen that I'm gonna throw you on the bus with me, Karen, not under, came to me and said, you guys are talking about laying people off, and last year the parks didn't pay for themselves. And we had to draw some money out of the general fund. And you're talking about laying people off and we're gonna feed deer? And so I was brand new. I said, is there a committee? Yeah, there's a committee. They don't even meet in the winter time because most of them are in Florida. Some of them had been in a meeting for 5 years, but there was nobody falling down to take a position, so they just remained on the committee. Well, we rejuvenized that. We had a lot of people call, and we had a big switch on the board, and just a lot of things have been going on, not even just in the deer park, but the RV park. And then just recently we brought on the high banks, and that's really working out. And so there's been a lot of things, but I just can't get over how people listen to a rumor printed on a Facebook that they don't even know the person, but they'll believe it. And my number is published on the county website. You can call me up anytime. I'll tell you what's going on that I know of, and if I made a decision, I'll explain my decision to you. And I'm not asking you to agree with me, but I'll do that. So that's it. Anything else? All right, well, we'll move on to general public comment. This is on anything pertaining to county business. Anybody in the room? Mr. Supervisor, would you please like to come up?
Got nothing.
I'm glad you brought your daughter with you tonight. Yeah, okay. Anybody else, a candidate maybe, or something like to speak? Nah, fine. That's like in public, yeah. Anybody on the phone would like to speak public comment? Raise your hand. There's a hand up, Tom. Somebody's got their hand up, Tom.
Hi, guys.
Hi. What's your
Hey,
name?
it's
Oh.
Jenny.
Jenny.
Yes,
Okay.
I just want to congratulate all the department heads and elected officials, along with our administrator/controller and all the fellow commissioners on an amazing audit. Along with it, sounds like our audit team did a great job.
Okay. And you're not gonna scold me for being up here. Okay,
No, hurry it along.
okay, we're moving. Anybody else got any public comment on Zoom? If you'd like to raise your hand and we'll get you on. Once, twice, 3 times? Okay, thank you. Well, we're gonna go in a closed session. I'm gonna ask for a motion here. I'm gonna let you know that, we're gonna be discussing applications for the county administrator / controller. we will be coming back into, open session and there may be a decision made. So if you want to hang loose and we'll be back on or come back in the room. Jenny, you're of course on with us, right? Yes, good. So who wants to make the motion?
I'll make a motion that we go into closed session to review and consider the contents of an application for employment
Thank you.
or application to a public office as requested by the candidates per MCL 15.268(1)(f).
Or,
Or,
roll call, vote
Okay.
please.
Mark Serbrook,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Roger Mayhew, Charles Wiltie.
yes.
Okay. I'll call you, Tom, when we're ready to come back.
Hey, Paul. Thank you.
Yeah, good idea. All right.
Hey, guys.
Yes.
I gave I talked to Chad a couple times and I know I'm not able to communicate during the meeting, but I did, give him my opinion on the candidates.
Okay,
Good job.
thank you.
Thanks for coming.
I'll kind of take a peek in the hallway and see if anybody's out there.
Country, really? My college roommate was third backup goalie hockey, so during college days, I played every game I wanted to, and
I didn't think so.
that's really cool. Yeah.
That it, Tom?
Yep, all set.
All right. Okay, we're back in the open session now. So, you wanna
I'll just give a brief overview.
just,
I'll give you a brief overview. Since your January meeting, you decided to repost the position. That was done. Deadline was the 20th of February, last Friday. 23 people applied. Of those, I felt 7 had some basic qualifications for the position. Those resumes were forwarded to you last week. 4 of them requested to be reviewed in confidence, which just happened, and now we're in open session, and what you need to determine is which ones you wish to invite for an interview. I would suggest, instead of talking about the names at this point, refer them by the numbers next to the name, which is 1 through 7. And then once you decide who you wish to interview, I can give an update because if they will accept the invitation or not, and that way we can release the names to speed up the process. I assume you want to interview next week, Thursday, is that the case?
Yeah.
And what time do you want to start? Last time we started at 4. And I spaced them an hour apart, but they were too far apart. You didn't take too much time. You guys were pretty quick, so we could space.
Jenny does a good job. And I think we should just follow
Yeah.
that same format that we did last
But
time.
if we space them 40 minutes, that gives you half hour in case somebody's late or you have other business. So I was gonna suggest 40 minutes.
Fabian, what's our agenda look like next week, other than this?
We don't have a very heavy.
Not much.
So can you start?
5 o'clock? You wanna start?
I'm fine.
5?
I won't be here.
You won't be here next week?
The 5th, I won't be here.
Will you be able to call in?
No.
No?
He can't. He can view it, but he can't participate.
Well,
I have
View.
surgery now.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Surgery.
are you?
everything goes okay.
Oh,
Are you okay with us moving forward?
Not a big deal. I'm just not gonna be here. I can tell you that.
would you rather us wait?
With one of them things.
Well, I think I can make it. I'm gonna have surgery Monday, but
See, that was the concern I brought up last week. You know,
I think I can make it.
because Roger indicated that he wasn't gonna be able to be here, and I know you've got that surgery, you know, so.
I'm on a walker the next day. So,
Until the 12th.
I'm hoping I
skip a
can.
week?
Why don't we do it on the 12th? That way chances are everybody will be able to be here. You'll be healed up, you should be able to be here. You should be,
I mean,
you know, on the road to recovery anyway, hopefully be able to make it, but. I think it's important. I mean, this is an important position. I think we need the input of every commissioner. I really, really do.
Charlie?
You know, fine.
Okay, 12th then.
Let's see how many you wish to interview, then we can talk about what starting time for the meeting.
Okay.
Do you want to do the straw poll like we did last time, or you just want us just?
It's up to you. You can do a straw poll if you like.
I'm fine with just saying the numbers. but
I'd like to
whatever you guys
interview-
wanna do.
I'd like to interview number 1, number 5, and number 7.
Pardon me?
Double that.
You concur?
Okay,
I'll concur with that too.
Here, all three.
all right.
And that was the chairman's choices.
She cannot vote, but
Oh.
she shared her thoughts with me.
Oh, well, you cannot share her thoughts with us. Okay, we'll do it.
But there's agreement here.
Telepathically.
Well,
There's a consensus.
there's a consensus
All right,
here.
all right.
So based on that, some of them have requested to be reviewed in confidence, which has occurred. I did talk to them, ask them if they were invited for an interview, would they accept it? Because if they said yes, then the names become public. They have said yes. So the names of the three are Renee Arkman, Diego Navarro, and Francine Zisk.
That's what I thought your last name is.
I'm guessing here's the, is there agreement? Those are the,
Yes.
Yes.
okay, then March 12th.
Yes.
And what time would you like to start?
5, okay? For 3 of them?
Will there be business beforehand? Should we start the interviews at 5:15? Or are you ready to do the interviews first and then?
Let's
business
we'll
after?
get the interviews out of the way and then we
Yeah.
can.
Okay, so
curtail
start at
the-
5?
Well, that way, if they do happen to be in, you can go do the stuff in the meeting and then back to them if they're late.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we did
We
last
could,
time.
yeah, like we did last time. If they're in, if we got a little stretch in between, we'll get some business done.
That's a good idea.
And I'm speaking for Jenny because she'll be here.
So if I do the math correct at 40 minutes, about approximately half-hour interview with maybe a little break in between.
I would think so.
It'd be 5, 5:40, and 6:20.
Okay,
Sounds good.
Agreement?
yep.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
And I think the question was last time about posting the resumes, and yes, I think one of you asked the
Yeah.
posting the resumes.
Any of
I
that,
mean, that's pretty common.
I'll put them in the packet.
Okay,
any of that need a motion? Or not?
I think you should, yeah.
I would suggest you pass a motion to that.
Yes.
I'll make the motion.
Or
Interview the 3 on March 12th.
Yes.
I support that.
Starting 5
Right.
o'clock.
All in favor signify by aye. Aye.
Hey,
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you,
all
Joe.
right.
thank
Uh,
you, Jeff.
There's no other business. So Roger, do you have one more motion to make? Motion to adjourn?
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you for the public. Thank you for calling in. We appreciate it.
Be safe.